This is the tutorial for the Film 209 Homework number 1 assignment. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to go to UR Courses and go down to Homework 1. Number 1, you should read what I'm expecting from you in this document. So basically I want you to edit the files that I'm providing you. All of the files are here. So click on Media Files for Homework 1, Tuesday and Thursday. Then I want you to download whichever day you are. So if you click here and save link as, this will save it to the downloads folder on the PC. That'll take a couple seconds. Currently I'm in Google Chrome. So if you're using a different browser, it's going to look slightly different. Okay, so once your file is downloaded, you can find it in the downloads folder. If you click on this icon down here and then go to downloads, you can see there's where our files are. So now what you want to do is you want to use your named folder on the edit stations. For this example, I'm going to use the Film 209 folder. So I'm going to drag this into Film 209. Then I'm going to click Film 209 to get inside there, and I'm going to make a new folder. So you can either click the new folder button here, or you can right click new folder. So I'd like you to name the folder with your last name underscore Homework1. And we can drag this inside that folder. Everything to do with your project needs to be in this folder, and I'd like you to hand in the entire folder to me on your thumb drive. So if we extract all by right-clicking on the archive and then just extracting, you don't have to change this. Just hit extract. Okay. So inside here, I've got sound and video. We can delete this one. So you can right-click delete. Okay, so that's set up. Now we can go to Adobe Premiere. Okay, so if you see this screen when you're starting up, that's good. We can start a new project. Up here, you should put your last name underscore Homework1. And you can leave all of this stuff the same. You don't have to touch it. But you do need to browse to a new location. And that location should be the folder that we just created. So browse and then go down here, here, and here. And then select folder. So that means that our project file that's going to be created by Adobe Premiere is going to be saved in that folder. Okay, so we need to start importing media in order to start our project. So let's right-click, import, go into Shoot 1B. If you don't see your folder, just find it on the side here and navigate into Shoot 1B Tuesday. So we're going to import all of these first. So this is going to be our video files. So you can just draw a box around all of the files and click open. You'll notice that you can see your files as little pictures or icons. I'm going to switch it to list view so that we just see the file names of the files, the movie files. I'm also going to move this up. So as you can see, I can just move this entire part of the screen up and get more space inside here, because we want to also see all of the audio files here. So I'm going to right click again, import. I'm going to go back to sound. I'm going to draw a box around these and then open. Okay, so you can see that each of these media files, if I double click on the icon, I'll be able to see what's inside here. Each one of these has a separate file name. So what we want to do is we want to use the file name that is on the slate for each of the movie files and each of the sound files. I think I can see it's scene 1, take 1. So I'm going to just put scene 1, take 1. Okay, I think that's scene 1, take 2. Okay, and then I'm just going to go along with each one of these and read what's on here and try to put the file name. If you need to, you can use this zoom control to make it a little bit easier to read what's on there. Okay, so all of the takes have been named. Now what we need to do is go through each one and mark the endpoint of each one. So if I double click on this one and I move this ahead, what I like to do is just put the playhead just before the two sticks come together, and then I use the arrow keys on the keyboard to advance one frame at a time until I see that the two sticks are together. It's a little hard to see in this shot. Once you've got them together, then you can mark an endpoint. And I'm going to do that with each one of these. Okay, so this is a hard one because I can't see the sticks coming together, so I have to use the sound. I think it's there. Okay, so I've done all my movie files. I've got the endpoints on them, and they've been renamed. So now I'm going to go to all of my sound files and do the same thing. So if I double click on the icon, you can see that there's a really tall spike here. That's going to be your clapper sticks coming together. So if you just listen to the part that's just before that, that should be the scene and the take number.
Speed, Cole and Rayleigh, scene 1, take 1.
So that's scene 1, take 1. So I'm going to go ahead and just do each one of these with the proper scene and take number. Okay, so I've taken all of these sound files and I've renamed them so that each one should line up with one of the movie files. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark the endpoints on each one. So again, do it the same way. I move my playhead just before the spike and I play it with the arrow keys on the keyboard. So that click tells me that that's the endpoint of that file. And I just go through each one, same thing. Okay, so I've marked the endpoint on each one of these. And we just have this one other file, which I'm going to put in a new bin. So I'm going to make a new bin, and we'll just call this media. And media is where I'm going to store everything that I don't really want to see right away. So I'm going to just drag this into media. Okay, so drag this up a little bit. You can see all of the files we've got now. Now what you need to do is you need to sort them by alphabetical order. So if you do that, you should see that we have a scene 1, take 1, scene 1, take 1. So this is the picture and this is the sound. And there should be one for each of these. If you don't have one for each of these, like we have an extra take here, scene 5, take 1, and there's no sound file, then that's either an MOS, which you can indicate by putting your hand through the sticks, or this is someone made a mistake and there's no audio file for that. So I'm going to drag this one up and put it in media too. There's no point in really deleting anything from your project because there's always a chance that you might need even the files that are on the face of it seem like they're just garbage. So okay, so we've got pairs of each one of these files, a picture and a sound file. So I'm going to highlight the first two pairs. I'm going to right click on the icon, doesn't matter which one of these, and I'm going to choose merge clips. So it gives it a name, which is the scene and take number and then the word merged. And then it asks us how we want to synchronize these. And I want to synchronize them with the in point because that's what I set on each one of these. I also want to click this box here, remove audio from AV clip. And then I'm going to click OK. So you can see that it's made a new file. And this file will have the picture from the movie file and the sound from the Adderall wave files. And if you listen to it, the sound should have the much better quality.
Mr. Cole, my name is Dr. Rayleigh. I'm a psychiatrist and I work.
You'll also notice down here that it's a mono file, so there's only one soundtrack on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of the rest of these. You have to do them one by one. You can't do them as a group. Okay, so now I have a bunch of merged clips and a bunch of the original clips. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take all of the non-merged files and put them into my media bin because I don't need them right now. I might need them, so I'm not going to delete them, but I'm just going to put them in that bin to make things a little more organized. Here's a little tip that you can use. If you use this little bar to move across all of the parameters of each of these files, you can go to your audio info, and if I click audio info, it will line up everything according to the number of tracks that they have. So you can see these are all the merged tracks are mono. So if I click on this scene take 1, or scene 6 take 1, and I go up to here, and I hold down my shift key, and select all of these, and then I just move them into media, I've just basically pasted everything I needed into the main project window. So now what you want to do is you want to make a new sequence. So just click on the new item icon and then click sequence. And we're going to choose a digital SLR sequence 1080 1080p 24. So all of this information should be right for our project that we've shot with the Canon T4i cameras. I'm going to go down to my sequence name and I'm going to call it Campbell Homework 1 and then go OK. Now you can basically edit the sequence according to however you want. You've got a whole bunch of options here depending on the number of clips you have. So I'm just going to edit this quickly into a continuity edit. Make sure that you always remove any of the extra information like the clapper, the word action, the word cut, anything else that's not important to the scene. I don't want to hear any of that in the homework assignment. So if I drag this up here and I play it back,
Action.
I can start my scene maybe about there, right after the word action.
Mr. Cole, my name is Dr. Rayleigh. I'm a psychiatrist and I work for the county.
After that word, maybe I'll mark an out point and I can drag this onto my timeline. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit a short sequence of this. Okay, so once you've got your edit finished, you need to just add a couple more things for me. First thing I'd like you to do is add a universal counter. So if you go to your new item icon and go universal counter leader, make sure it's on 1920 by 1080, 23.976 frames per second, and click OK, and OK again, and then just drag this to the front. So hold down your control key and those white arrows will appear, and that will shift everything along so this is at the beginning. And then between the universal counter and the beginning of your scene, I'd like you to put a 2 seconds of black space. So I'm going to go new item, black video, and width and height again, same. And I'm going to go OK. This time I'm going to go double click here. And what I need to do is I just need to move this ahead from 000, which is where it starts, to that will give you 2 seconds. So I'm going to mark an out point there. And if I drag this onto the timeline and I hold down my control key to get my white arrows, everything gets shifted along. So it's going to go counter, black space, and my scene. And we're not done yet. We also want to make a slate. So for the slate, we're going to need to use a graphics. So if I click on graphics, your screen will change a little bit and you'll have a whole bunch of series of graphics options here. And what we need is a basic title. So we use basic title. So I'm going to drag my basic title over here, and again I'm going to hit my control key on my keyboard, let go, and it's just going to put this title here. As long as I'm in the graphics mode, I can click the type tool and I can change the graphics to what I'd like for your slate, which is student, and then put your name. Your class, submitted to, and the date. We can also center this by clicking these two buttons here. Okay, so we've added the slate to the timeline. I'm going to go back to editing. And I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. So now I need to put another bit of black video right here. Again, hold down my control key, insert the black space. And then if I go to the end, I'm going to put one more black video at the end. And now my Entire film is ready to export. So make sure that your timeline has the focus around it, which is the blue line. So if I just click once anywhere inside, the blue line will be around there, and that will tell the computer that that's the thing that I want to export. I'm going to go to Export, Media. I'm going to make sure I change my format. So the format should be H.264. And if you leave it on match source high bitrate, that should set all of the other stuff. So currently we're at 1920 by 1080, 23.976 frames per second, progressive. Our target is 10 megabits per second and our max is 12. So that's pretty good in terms of our quality. And our audio format is AAC 320 kilobits per second, 48 kilohertz in stereo. So as long as all of this stuff is okay, you should be fine. I'm just going to check where my output name is going, so I'm just going to click and see where it's going to go. So you can see that it's going in my drive, so I'm using Film 209, and then it's going to go into my Campbell Homework 1. And if I just click Save, then I'll be sure that that's where it's going to be saved. And then all I need to do is click the Export button to export the full film. Okay, so we can save our project. So save, and we can quit. So go File, Exit. So now what you want to do is you want to take this folder here, Campbell Homework 1. It should have these things in it. So the original footage, there should be an MP4 file, which I can play back and watch. And there should also be an Adobe Premiere file. That's a PR Proj file. This is where all the edit decisions that you made in the text and everything is stored. There's also going to be an Adobe Premiere autosave folder and possibly a motion graphics template media. What you want to do is you want to take this and you want to insert your thumb drive. And then copy this over onto your USB drive. It should be, mine's called Untitled, so I'm going to put it on there. And then you can hand that in to me in class. That's the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching.